Welcome into Beyond Sunday. I am your host, Luke. I'm joined by Dan, and if you were watching on YouTube, you know we are joined by our good friend Willy Wonka, one of the cutouts. We've been putting those up in the lobby each week and kind of keeping it fresh with whatever movie we're talking about that Sunday. So I figured, why not put Willy Wonka in my office? And now he's joining us on set today. So Dan, first, appreciate you hopping on here.
Yep.
How's everything going? Everything good?
It's great. It's a little bit slower now that the majority of the lobby has been built out. So
We concluded build week. What is that now? 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about that as well. But first, Dan, let people know that might not have seen you to this point. They've probably seen you, but they're like,
Sure.
If they go to the Ocala campus, they're like, I don't have no idea what he does. He's around all the time.
I kind of blend in.
Yeah, no, you don't. For those that aren't on YouTube, Dan is like 6'5", so he does not blend in anywhere. But Dan, what is your job title, job titles?
Sure. So when I first came on staff, it was creative designer, kind of just helping with casting vision and building some of the lobby sets and designs that we do. More recently, it has been transitioned more away from that. I guess and or not just from it, but also multi-site safety director. So I oversee everything safety and health related, not only at our Ocala campus, but Middleton and Lady Lake as well, and all encompassing.
And tell the people listening or watching what qualifies you for that safety and health role. Like, what's your background before getting into ministry and everything?
Yeah, sure. So I worked for the sheriff's office here in Marion County for 11 years. During that time, I was in investigations, most of it. So reading body language, things like that is pretty natural to me. In addition to that, I was on SWAT for 8 years. So I have a lot of experience when it comes to big populations and protecting and kind of devising plans and procedures to how to deal with just large crowds in general.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so Dan has not really come on board, but expanded his range with that in the last month or so. So we are happy about that. We feel safer because Dan is heading things up and has a presence in the lobby as well, and also is communicating all of kind of what his protocol is and regulations to our other campuses. So big job, big responsibility, but we are happy to have Dan doing that. Now, Dan, let's talk about this past weekend.
Okay.
Because it
was insane.
It was nuts. And that was the feeling around every campus here at the Springs, at Lady Lake, at Middleton, and here. But on top of that, nationally, it feels that way.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if it was globally that churches were full more than usual. And obviously this comes as a result of what we're attributing it to, which is likely the assassination of Charlie Kirk this past week. We mentioned it, had a moment for it in all of our services at all of our campuses. And people just clearly want Jesus.
No, it was insane to see. I mean, it was as busy Sunday as it is for some of our major holidays, which is when a lot of people who don't go to church decide they need to go to church.
Yep.
Christmas, Easter, things like that. So it was really cool to see just the movement and just like the stress of that, of just busting at the seams, quite literally, with as many people as were here, and just hoping that trend continues, because it's definitely, I think it woke a lot of people up for how far, the world and society has gotten from God, and how we kind of need to go back in that direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, like, it felt like the Charlie Kirk tragedy was the boiling point. Like, we have experienced so much heartbreak, even all the time, unfortunately. On the news, we see it all the time. But in the last month, talk about the Ukrainian refugee who got senselessly stabbed on the subway. You talk about the school shooting that took place as well on the same day, I believe, as the Charlie Kirk assassination. So, like, there's just been so much stuff happening, and people are finally just like, I need to go to church.
Yeah.
And we as a church were not shy to say that the Charlie Kirk assassination hit us a certain way because of the way he proclaimed Jesus.
Yeah, I think put political views aside, it had nothing to do with politics. It was he was a man of God, and he was bold in his faith.
Yep.
And for someone like that to be assassinated, I think it woke up a lot of people like, what are we doing?
There's a lot of people who said they went to church basically for him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing this for him. But I wonder how many people said they were going for him and then ended up committing their lives to Christ at whatever church they attended, because we have a lot of those stories from this past weekend. People that were here for the first time, there was a lot of Connect cards that were marked, this is my first time, I'm a first-time guest, and today I committed my life to Christ.
Yeah, and it's interesting that it also comes at the same time as At the Movies is going on.
Mm-hmm,
so our lobby and just the overall feel of the church is different than it normally is.
Yes.
But it's still super inviting, and it almost is more intriguing, like what is going on here.
100%.
We have a giant tree in the middle of the lobby.
Yep.
And then to just experience that, we're constantly chasing after that one person.
Yeah, and it looks all of our campuses look different than normal, so like just the fact of, like you said, the timing of that, people coming in, and I wonder how many people walked in thinking they were just trying a normal church.
Oh, I'm sure. 100%.
And they were like, what is going on? I mean, at Middleton, you had the red carpets. They're passing out popcorn.
Yeah.
Lady Lake, they've got the candies, the prop candies. They've got the now showing marquee lights above the auditorium door. As soon as you walk in on either side, they're passing out popcorn. Here, you've got popcorn. You've got cotton candy. Like, you've got the tree. It is such a unique experience. And I just think it's another reminder of God's timing, right? Where it's like, in the Bible, it talks about that God works together for the people that love him, works together things for good, right? And that is just kind of how all this timely, like, it just is timely.
Yeah.
At the movies and all of that tying into it, it's just like there's a lot of people that were blown away on Sunday that had never stepped foot in here. And on top of that, giving their lives to Jesus. It was just incredible.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it goes to show the lengths we will go to, because, right, like, none of the lobby stuff is for us. It's for that one person who is far from God, and we're trying to get them to come in and accept God, and Jesus as their Lord and Savior. So it's interesting that you hope people walk in, especially for the first time, like this last Sunday, and they see what lengths we'll go to try to get that one person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm always proud of the Springs and how we pull things off with excellence, but it's also the staff in the lobby on Sundays that makes it another step in the right direction for them, for those people that are here for the first time, to make them feel welcome. We've got the host team outside at the Ocala campus, and we've got the deck at all of our campuses for first-time guests to go. Like, we are trying to resource these people that are new, and it's something. It goes back to also what I told our volunteers on the first Sunday of Build Week, and what I told them was, and there was a lot of people that Sunday. Yeah, I think we had 45 to 50 people, and in that room when we gathered before we kind of broke off into our groups, I said, I am hoping, and I know that there are people that a lot of you guys might have signed up because I'm just a good person. Mm-hmm. I'm handy. I'm here because I'm a good person, basically. Yeah. And I always help. It's just who I am.
Yeah.
But I said, I hope that we shift our perspective to be, I'm doing this because I'm expecting God to do the unimaginable with this series and with the things that we're doing. And it's just that's the perspective I want us to always have.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we serve in ministry because we're expecting God to move.
Yeah.
Like, we are here because we have put our chips all in on the table and said, God, whatever you want to do, make it happen. And we know that you're going to do it. We expect it. And just the way that he moved this past weekend after all the stuff that we've been through in the last week.
Yeah.
It was all God. And I mean, that 10:30 service at Ocala, like, it felt like Christmas.
No, it was insane. I mean,
it's nuts.
It was insane. Every chair was out. The additional seating area was almost to its full capacity. Yes. I mean, it was insane.
It was awesome. A lot of cool God stories came out of that. But now, Dan, I want to backtrack. Let's rewind. We've referenced it a couple times, but Build Week. We started it the Sunday prior to week 1 of At the Movies.
Yep.
And we pretty much time slotted for people to sign up for starting on Tuesday, but that Monday was Labor Day, so we lost a day. But doing 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., our doors will be open. People signed up for time frames and came and go as they wanted. And I believe the final was like we had like 85 plus volunteers that week, and a lot of people that came back more than once.
Yeah. No,
that blew me away.
Yeah.
And especially the long nights.
Yeah.
Right. And I do want to shout out a couple people. I want to shout out JW.
Yep.
Who busted his tail all week making wood structures, woodworking. Like it was cool to see God use the gifts of people that week. Jeremy Connor.
Yes.
Who was here. I thought it was awesome. He brought his son most times that he came. His son, who's, I don't know, probably 7 or 8, 9. But that Wednesday when we were putting that cherry blossom tree in the center of the lobby, we were here till 9:45, 10 o'clock that night, I think.
Yeah, that was one of the late nights for sure.
And Jeremy was here through all of that with us.
Yep.
And just like as handy as they come, it's Jeremy, right?
Yeah.
It was like having 2 of you,
yeah,
which was super nice.
No, it was nice for me. Yeah, it was extremely nice for me.
Yes.
And going back to JW, it's so interesting because I grew up, and we'll get into this, I'm sure. I grew up, around construction and building things, and dad and grandparent who did it. So that's it was a very normal thing to me growing up. So it wasn't until my adult life where I realized that's not necessarily a normal thing. Like there are plenty of people who just don't understand or can't build that.
Me, I'm raising my hand.
They can't do that, or not that they can't do it, they just never learned.
Right.
So it was very nice to be able to, like JW, for example, who's been doing this his whole life, where you could say like, hey, this is what I want. I want it to look like this, and then not have to check again. You know that it's going to be done, and it's going to be done correctly. So it was just so nice to be able to kind of pass that off and not have to wear 17 different hats
100%
at the same time.
And that is why, like, one of the many reasons we're doing that, I hope Build Weeks become a fixture, because it was awesome for me, who has no construction woodwork background, a bone in my body that has ever been into any of that. Like, my passion doesn't even go there, but I do, like, that whole week I was amazed, because it wasn't just JW, it wasn't just Jeremy. Like, there was a ton of people who just were like, yeah, this is where I'm skilled. Arts and crafts type, like artistic abilities, the ability to woodwork and do that, the ability to just follow instructions. Like, there were a lot of people that blew me away in Build Week. And I'm hoping that is just the beginning for that, because it would be, listen, man, we go all out for Christmas. Our lobby looks beautiful. Christmas lights go a long way. But truthfully, like, we could do more if we had the power of volunteers.
The time is not on our side.
Right. So it's like, because you have the week, right? You have the week to go from one series to boom, we're in at the movies, or boom, we're in Christmas.
Yeah.
Boom, it's Easter. It's Mother's Day. It's Father's Day.
And it's hard because you can only pre-do so much. You can only prepare so much.
Yes.
So you're left with, I have X, Y, and Z I need to do, but I can't do X, Y, and Z until Monday.
Yeah.
So it's just like a race to the end.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, going off of what you're saying, like, you don't have the construction bone in your body. What you do have, though, is what makes, like, our teamwork so good, because your strengths are my weaknesses, like galvanizing and I can't remember. Discernment.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't enjoy doing that. Not that I don't enjoy it, I just don't. I'm very introverted, so like
it takes more out of you to do it.
I don't like to like gather the team, and it's just not who I am. And my strengths were invention and tenacity, so I just want to do something and get after it.
Tell me what to do, and I'm gonna get it done.
Like, you need this? Okay, cool, I got it.
Right.
So it was nice because you were able to do all of that and leave the hands-on, instructional stuff to me. Yeah. But you brought the people, so
yeah, it became a running joke that week of like, oh, capture this moment. Luke's doing something. Luke's picking up a piece of wood, moving candies around. But yes, no, like, that project it grew me in so many ways. Like, just number one, also, like, just knowing that I am capable of it. Yeah, I thought that I was capable. But to see all of the people, like, to just walk around the lobby, and it's like, dude, at any given time, there's at least 10 people that are in the back in the shop doing stuff. And then you've got a team and you're leading them on that. It's like,
I don't think
It's crazy.
I don't think people realize what kind of undertaking that truly is. You
Yeah.
know, like it's funny because you and I both experienced this where people in the lobby after Wonka or they, that service after, they'd be like, all right, so what are you doing for the next movie?
Yeah.
And we're like, you don't realize what went into this.
Yeah. They
setup.
probably
Like,
saw the steam coming out of my ears.
yeah. They just, it's fine. They
Yes.
come Sunday, then they come next Sunday and the lobby is completely different,
Yep.
but they don't realize everything that went into it and how much of an undertaking something like that was.
Genuinely, when they said that though, like as I reflected, I was like, oh, that's kind of a compliment.
Sure.
Like you guys do something extravagant so often.
Yeah.
For the one, which around here that terminology just means like for the people that don't go to church typically, that aren't saved, like that's the one. The people that come to church, that's the 99, right? Like, those are the people that have been found. They're Christians. They come every Sunday. But we do all of like so much of the language we use and the reason we do what we do is for the one.
Yeah.
Because we know that's what we're called to. And that is what we do, like the lengths that we will go to. And that's why it's like, it's just the thinking of, well, what if we went away from the movie theater look and we went into something with the movie? Like, it's just always trying to innovate. How can we be better? And how can we involve people in that? And I think that this next season of the Springs is going to be even more volunteer heavy.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to say because we already are. Like, just I think back to meal packing last year.
Yeah. The entire auditorium was
I
packed
never
full.
thought that I could be so energized by grains. You
Of
know what
rice.
I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just
Scooping
scooping
Yeah.
stuff and putting vitamins and stuff in things.
Yeah.
And like that was incredible because it was everybody working together.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, those are the things that you do that are like, this is my purpose.
Yeah.
And that's what I was able to feel last week or 2 weeks ago. And I'm sure you felt a lot of the same. Being able to just step back and look at everything and be like, I can't believe it came together.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I think I told you the story. I was talking to Pastor Ron and we were saying, I was saying how I'm here for so long during build week, right? Like I'm in it every day for 12 plus hours a day.
Yep.
Even when the volunteers aren't here, we're starting weeks and
Right.
a month ahead of time, kind of casting vision and
Yep.
getting things solidified and everything else. So then you're in it, like you're in the thick of it that entire time leading up to it. So it doesn't necessarily lose its specialness, but
Right.
it loses its like grand,
Yes.
like it's just a tree.
Yeah. Right.
It's
I've
not.
looked at it every day, every minute for the last
like
week.
it's just a tree. I'm tired of seeing this tree. But then to fast forward to Sunday, when you see people walking in for the first time and you see the true just amazement and gasp and oh my God, like this is what's in the lobby.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it all meaningful and it brings it back to what the root is of just bringing people in and experiencing and showing them God. So it's so refreshing to see because it's hard for it not to lose that specialness when you are in the thick of it, but then to see an outside looking in, it's a refreshment.
It is incredible. Again, I've had a few people that have been like, when are we gonna do another one? I couldn't make it. Like just wanting to be a part and chomping at the bit to do so. I do not hold me to this. I am hoping that we can do something for Christmas. That even if it's not a build week, more of like, we might still call it build week, but it might be like half of the week, like Monday through Wednesday. Like that might be all the time we really need to, because Christmas lights go a long way.
Sure.
Like last year, I think of like when we had them kind of go up to a peak to a point in the Ocala lobby, and at our other campuses, and like we Christmas lights just they cover a lot of things up, and it makes it look grand. Yeah. Because it is beautiful, but like what could we do if we had 50 plus volunteers?
Yeah, I think it fits to your point. We can always do more, and the more volunteers we have, the more time because we can't split ourselves. But if we have somebody else that can do something that may not be on a grand of scale as hanging the lights above the tree,
right?
But in conjunction too, it makes it so much better.
Yes.
So just having the additional manpower would create so much more margin.
And there's the last thing I'll say with Build Week. It was awesome to also see the amount of people who are like, "What supplies do you need?
Yeah.
What tools should we bring?" And it just makes me think like around Christmas, how many people probably have extra strands of lights that are just like, I want to help. Can I just donate some lights? Can I come in and help figure out where we're going to put this and this? And I could see JW being like, y'all
Yeah.
want a wood Christmas tree, like a little tree farm or something in a corner, like of like whether that's in the family room, which is functioning as our additional seating right now. Like, do we do like a wood tree farm and he just like woodworks that and does it? Like, there's so many things that the option, like genuinely the options are endless, like of what we can do. And it's just awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important too, because we both had a lot of people come up to us and say like, well, I don't really have a skill.
Yep.
You know, that's fine.
Right.
Like we need just as many people to move a box from point A to point B. And then you can learn a skill along the way. You know, like for Build Week, the tree and the mounds and things were all paper mache.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody paper mache in elementary school.
Yeah.
So you can dip a piece of paper in glue and put it on.
Right.
You know, and then you have your hand in it, and you can come in and say, "I helped create this."
100%. And it's also cool. I had my small group come in on the Tuesday night because we typically meet on Tuesdays, and we did the paper mache for the mounds of like with turf and candy on it and all that. And it was just cool. Like I know that they walked in on Sunday and they were like, man, this is awesome. Like we played a part in this.
Yeah.
Even though no matter how small of a part you felt you put into it, like you still played a part and we still could not have done it without you in such an efficient and timely manner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I remember I was walking through the lobby on one of the services and I heard one of the teenagers that was helping us build some stuff. And he was telling, presumably, I'm assuming his parents, he was telling them like, oh, I helped do this and do this. And it was cool seeing just how proud the parents were, you know, by looking at him.
Yeah.
And it was cool to see like he took ownership and took pride in it. So I think that was really cool.
Yeah. I think that also like moving forward, we're going to try to get students involved even more.
Yeah.
And kind of go from there. Like there's just so much, we can be so much better, which is crazy considering the result.
Sure.
It's going to be incredible. I'm really looking forward to it. As you guys can tell, it was awesome. Something I'm super proud of that we did and pulled off. Now, Dan, let's get into kind of you. You alluded to it, grew up building things and all of that. But kind of, do you remember like when that first started? Do you remember stuff that you were building early on and what you were helping with?
So my dad had built the house that I grew up in before I was born. So I don't obviously know any of that. But I mean, since I can remember, like my dad was a carpenter, is still a carpenter. So every weekend it would be like helping out on side jobs where we would be, you know, framing out a house or putting trim inside of a house. Or one of my most fond memories is we built a dock for somebody like going into their water. And it was funny because there was like an alligator close by. So for some reason, that's a core memory. Maybe because my life was like
because of the freaking
on.
alligator.
Yeah, but every weekend it was building something, putting in irrigation or something with electrical or plumbing or whatever. So beyond that, then my grandfather was a contractor and owned a upholstery shop. So. Every summer I was there pulling staples out of seats, you know, so they could reupholster them for boats and put awnings on. So I think very early on I had a strong work ethic ingrained into me, which helped me in my adult life. But for as long as I can remember, you know, I was helping them build houses and do everything in between.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then kind of like, why did you... Or why now? Maybe that your perspective has changed. Maybe for the reason why you initially came on staff to where you're at now mentally and from a perspective. But like, why did you decide that you would want to take your talents from growing up, building things and doing all that, translate it to working here at the Springs? Yeah.
So I've always enjoyed it as like a hobby, right? You know, just building things around the house or whatever. And then I had a friend who worked here who asked me to come help for I think it was the Uncharted series. So I came and just volunteered for that, and it truly just like awoke me. Though I was very internally like excited, and it felt like I was finding purpose, right? Yep. So I stayed just doing that, and then eventually they were like, "Hey, like we really like what you do. How about you come and do this, you know, for us all the time?" Awesome. So it changed because originally I was just doing it to help a friend out, and it unlocked the passion that I knew was there, but it was a very fulfilled type of passion, you know, where I just got fulfillment out of doing it. And then it kind of led into seeing the end result and just seeing the change it can have in other people's lives that has like continued just push me.
Yeah. And I mean, shocker, like generosity is contagious.
Sure.
And even though now, like, yes, we do this for a living, it's what we just live in, right? Like we serve in ministry. It's just what we do. But it is still generosity. Like it still ties to what the Bible wants us to do, right? We're serving others. And there's such purpose and fulfillment given naturally in that it just all goes back to our wiring. Like how we're wired as humans is we're wired to be in community and to help each other when someone's struggling. And that's like every Sunday. Like at least a few staff members talk to people who are going through something on Sundays, right? And that might be underselling it.
Yeah.
Like it is everywhere. And the need that people have for people is so apparent. So it's an incredible blessing to work in ministry. And growing up in church, I knew that, but I didn't really understand it until I started working here.
Yeah.
Whereas like truly how much of an impact you have on people and how much of an impact people have on you.
Yeah.
Like you see life through a whole new lens when you work in ministry. It's awesome.
I agree. And I think kind of it's a way for me to, like I was saying, I feel like I'm very introverted unless it's somebody that I'm comfortable with.
Right.
So, which is interesting because when I was at the sheriff's office, I did a lot of undercover work and I could talk to anybody. I had no issues talking to a complete stranger.
Yeah.
But it's because, you're behind this mask of this is my job. And so I think that just brought like a level of comfortableness that I was able to hide behind, like this is why I'm talking to you. So it's interesting because being here, it kind of brings me out of that introverted, it makes me talk to people, but I genuinely enjoy it.
Right.
So it's interesting because before I had to talk to people as a living, as a career and for whatever, but now I'm doing it in a sense where I think it goes back to the generosity of just giving and just being able to express myself and talk to people.
Yeah. And Dan, where I want to land the plane, I ask everybody that comes on here for the first time just because it's interesting to me, but what is your favorite memory on staff at the Spring so far?
Mine is probably a series of small incidents. One of the major ones would honestly be, and it's funny because like it did not go to plan at all. But the Middleton groundbreaking, where we had this huge tent, we had this huge stage put out, we were doing baptisms, we were going to have, hundreds and hundreds of people come just for the groundbreaking in Middleton. And unfortunately, the day before or the 2 days before, it like monsooned. And because it was just a dirt lot at the time, there was no drainage. So it turned this dirt lot into like a mud wrestling pit. And the fact that we still, despite that, had hundreds and hundreds of people who still came out, trek through the mud, like you're slipping and you're sliding, and the parking wasn't, closed because of the mud. We couldn't park people on the land because people would just get stuck. And then we were like golf carting people to the property. And still, despite that, we still had hundreds who showed up, and it was still so minimal in the light of the baptisms that happened there, and like seeing the life change. Despite all of the stuff that, which we can attribute to Satan or whatever, trying to just cast shadows.
Yep.
So I think that's probably one of the major ones, is just seeing that.
That was awesome. That was an awesome day. One that you can look back on, right? Like there's a couple different days that are huge for the Springs, and obviously the opening of every campus that we've done, like those are huge days. But what I pinpoint personally is absolutely the Middleton groundbreaking. And the groundbreaking here at Ocala. Like I was here for that. I remember that. I remember like the ceremonial, like shovel stuff, and everybody back then, I think that was 2010, 2011, got like a little like cube, basically like a rectangular type cube that was filled with sand from the property, and it had like the Springs logo on it. Like those instances are so special, and the energy is contagious at those events, right? Like the groundbreaking in Middleton, having the baptisms, having worship. Worship was awesome. And it was just cool. Like despite like us having to block off areas under the tent because they were so muddy and like flooded still, just like you said, the amount of people who still showed up, and it was a good time. We had Kona Ice as well, I believe.
Yep.
We had
it's cool because it wasn't nobody upplayed the amount of things that went wrong. Nobody was like, this place is a money mess. They were like, we're here to celebrate the groundbreaking. Like, so it was cool just to see how you can look past the negative in your life to see the positive. So it was a good, like, I need to remember this.
Yeah, 100%. It's contagious, and I think it really fast-tracked the growth that we're seeing at Middleton, where it built the excitement to be like, oh, I see the land. This is my church. This is my campus. I'm going to invite everybody that I can to be a part of this church because I know what the future holds for this church.
Yeah.
And, man, it's incredible. So a lot of exciting stuff happening at the Springs at all times. And there's always something on the horizon, something we've got to plan for. And it's fun to get to tackle it. And much like Build Week, fun to tackle it with you, like just problem solving and creating and how do we do this? And like you said, like a lot of your strengths are my weaknesses basically. And in the practical sense as well, not just in like the character trait in that way, but and vice versa. Like it's awesome to see collaboration. And I think you and I are people that collaborate well, and we have so much of that on staff, and it should be celebrated. So, yeah, absolutely. Dan, I appreciate you hopping on here.
Absolutely.
And hope that you guys listening and watching found it to be interesting. I know that I did. It's just awesome to get to hear kind of Dan's origin of why he does what he does and the heartbeat behind it, and helps you guys. If you guys see Dan on Sundays, feel free to come up to him and say, hey. You'll see him. He has an AirPod in. Because they are in constant communication with the safety stuff that's going on and making sure that we're good there. But he will talk to you. So say hey to him. He's not listening to music in that AirPod. And we'd love to connect with you guys further. So until next time, we will see you on next Wednesday. See ya.
See ya.